Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of AutismBC Talks. My name is Brock Shepard. I am pleased to welcome Heather Linka here today, the program manager from Orbital Learning. AutismBC Talks is a monthly webinar that brings in professionals and individuals with lived experience to be able to share their stories and connect with our membership. Thank you to all of the members that typed in some questions for Heather, and we're going to be able to go through this for probably about 15 or 20 minutes. If you have any other questions at this time, please type them in here to the side, and if we have time, we will get to them. Welcome, Heather.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, inclusive employment is something that is very important to all of our members, whether they are individuals on the spectrum themselves or they are parents. And we wanted to be able to welcome you here to explain a little bit of what is this ERTA program?
Yeah, okay, ERTA. So that is an acronym for Employment, Retention, Training, and Assessment. So it is a program that has been adapted by many companies. The original business model is from Belgium, actually. And so it's an 80-hour course that's now being delivered online over Zoom. And it's all about business professional skills for people on the autism spectrum so that they can understand what an employer is expecting from them, so that when they get into a complex business type of environment, they are able to perform at a way that their employer is expecting, because there's so many unwritten rules in the employment situation that oftentimes people on the spectrum just aren't picking up on. It can lead to job loss. So we're just getting them ready for all of those expectations, as well as talking about mental health and professionalism, and also self-advocacy, so they can become a strong employee.
And who is this really designed for, and who is it not designed for? Because I know that there is a criteria.
Absolutely, it's a great question. And so it is targeting a bit of a niche in the autism spectrum, which are people that want to and are capable of working in a full-time business role, sort of as I mentioned. And so we don't use education for prerequisites or things like that, but we do some aptitude assessments. And so, you know, as we all know here, the spectrum is so broad, and this is really targeting a bit of a niche group that actually is often underserviced, because people don't always think that they have as many significant barriers because they're not as obvious up front as some other people on the spectrum are. And due to things like IQ level, sometimes people who are higher functioning, so to speak, on the spectrum are not able to access other supports. And so it is for a target group on the spectrum that are capable and wanting to work full-time in a business role.
Okay, is there like an application or a screening process? Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, of course. So the first thing that we would do is a meet and greet session, and that's something that the person would do with me over Zoom. And it's just sort of an informal chat, so we can get to know each other. I can get to know if, okay, does this person seem like a good fit for us? Or would I maybe recommend a different service in the area? We tend to get really strong referrals because we have really good partners. So, those intro conversations are a good way for us to assess the fit, as well as for the person to get a sense of, does it sound like something they want to do as well? Like, it really goes both ways. So it's that. And then if it's kind of like, okay, yeah, it seems like a good fit, then the next thing would be these aptitude assessments. And
Okay.
that's sort of a make or break a little bit there.
And then after the aptitude assessment, there's that 80-hour course.
Yeah, so after the aptitude assessment, if they perform at to a certain level on some key aptitudes, then we would invite them to the program if if we thought that this would be something that would really benefit them. That is the 80-hour program.
Okay. And then after the completion of that 80-hour program, do you still work with those individuals to find them or match them with a job placement?
Yeah. So I'm kind of the one doing the initial, like the meet and greet aptitude assessment, and then Carol teaches the course. And then, but I'm sort of involved throughout a little bit, like if there's something that someone needs a bit of additional coaching on, then I'll jump in and provide a bit of additional support on the side of the course. Because the course is really, like, if there are things that are identified in the course that are going to be barriers for the person in employment, what we're really trying to do is, work through those things so that by the time that they're finished the course, they're much improved and ready to perform. So after the course is when we go through all of the, what happened in the course. There's a really a pretty thorough assessment that takes place. So that's why it's called training and assessment. So the assessment at the end really identifies sort of strength areas, and then any areas that are sort of flags where the person may need support in employment. And so from there, we kind of go over everything and think, okay, what is the best next step for the person? And sometimes it is to continue with us. And we can talk, I don't know, we'll probably talk more about that, where we offer contract roles, or sometimes we'll help people get into like permanent placement roles with our clients, but some other times we will be referring them to other partners in the community instead if we aren't exactly the right fit. So
Okay.
everybody will definitely have a chance to work on their skills, and it doesn't mean that it's a failure or something if they don't end up being an employee with us, or being continuing to work with us, because all the work that's been done is really productive.
Can you share a little bit about yourself and what drew you into this type of work?
Sure. So I studied speech language and audiology intervention in Ontario. So we have a program called Communicative Disorders Assistant in Ontario, and we don't actually have it in BC, but it's an intensive program that I did after university that enables me to carry out speech language and audiology interventions. And so I was working in that field in Ontario for a while, and then I came out to BC just sort of for a lifestyle change, and
I did the same thing.
Yeah, it's just a lifestyle change, and then kind of I heard about the Pacific Autism Family Network, and there was some really great marketing going around about the opening of the building and things, and so I got involved with them initially, and I was trying to get a speech job because I thought, oh, there must be some speech stuff going on in there. And they were having a hard time finding an employment specialist. So because I was in conversation with them, we were talking about it. And some of my clients that were in Ontario, they had a really rare condition. It was like a sensory processing thing, but also some other things. And what I was really doing, I was doing language goals, but as well I was really working with them to integrate them into their school community as well as their own community where they lived. And so it was a pretty unique position, but then I started to really equate the two things. When the employment specialist job came up, at first I'm like, well, no, I'm a speech person. And and then I was like, well, actually, Yeah. And then, I really feel like the whole thing has been really fateful. I'm not really keen. I really enjoy this field now. And so I think I brought a lot of transferable skills and into that.
Right. So given everything that you have kind of know and that you have learned over your journey, what does being an inclusive employer mean to you?
Yeah, so of course there's lots of employers that want to put numbers or attach things like this is what we're doing and initiatives and things like that. But I think getting to know different employers over the years, I would say it's really an openness to be checking your biases at the door, to be open to differences, as well as different ways of doing things, while at the same time treating people with this, having the same expectations to a certain degree as well, in terms of equal job opportunities and as well as opportunities for growth.
Okay, yeah.
And
We had a discussion like with the resource team at AutismBC, and we were like, what does inclusion mean to
yeah,
us? Because
it's
the
tricky.
nominations for Inclusive Employer of the Year
Oh yeah.
opened up last week, and we came to like inclusion means that everyone is valued and everyone who is doing that job is valued at the same level, with because everyone's always doing so many different things. Everyone is part of that big team. And is really like looking to like, what is the mission? What is the vision? Why are we doing this?
Yeah. Yeah, bring it, like, just coming back to your core values. That's yeah, probably a more eloquent way of my long-winded one.
So I know that Orbital Learning, you kind of look at employers and agencies in a different way, because those are a lot of the time your clients. So it's not the participants that are signing up and doing the courses. You're looking at the clients as like the agencies or the employers that you're working with to be able to hire talent. How involved are you in the other aspect of what Orbital Learning does, which is the trainings for employers?
Yeah, so with that, I would say I'm involved in the engagement with the employers initially, often. So, one interesting that's come out of this pandemic, side note, is that I feel a lot of employers are having more time to work on their diversity and inclusion programs because they're doing less hiring. And so I've been having conversations with employers that are wanting to initiate these sorts of training. And so I'm usually the one to talk to them about the different types of training that we offer, and scheduling and setting things up. Carol is usually the one that's facilitating the training. However, I will be doing one for Back in Motion next week in Richmond. And so I'm expecting as time goes on, we'll be sharing that duty a lot more.
Okay. And those are designed so that employers can feel comfortable and understand the benefits of hiring neurodiversely.
Yeah, and even just knowing, having some sense of understanding about what is autism and what to expect, and yeah, like how it helps people start to connect the dots about how they may see hiring neurodiverse people into their organization.
That's great. And I think that's something that a lot of agencies and organizations reach out and they're like looking for guidance of how to be able to start the learning process there. So we'll link that into the side of the video. So for people that are interested, they have a direct link over to there.
Yeah.
Can you share some of your experiences, either an experience working with a service agency or that has come to you to place individuals with diverse abilities?
So the service agencies, they they've been really great with referrals. Actually, one of our new partners is Connects Autism Network, because they are now doing the Ready, Willing, and Able program. And so it works really well when, Can initiated a couple meetings with us where the whole RWA team was coming to our office to really get to know what we do. Because I think maybe it's vague to some, it's different, it's unique. And so sometimes the engagement can be challenging, but with CAN, they really spent a lot of time to get to know what we do. And they have a lot of people on the spectrum coming to them now for employment. And so now it's been a really great experience that they will refer candidates or job seekers to us that they feel sort of fit what we do. And
we had Sarah from Ready, Willing, and Able do a talk with us a few weeks ago.
Oh, good. Yeah,
it was really great, and their approach is fantastic, like person-centered approach of like, okay, let's see what's going to work for you. Here are different opportunities that might fit or resonate with you.
So we're really enjoying that partnership because there's a real understanding and sense of partnership, and it works really well both ways, because then we will also refer people to CAN if it's not exactly fit for us. And I think that's what we need to be doing in the community, because nobody can be doing everything. Like it can be really challenging to take on everybody in the autism spectrum who have all different sorts of skills and capabilities, and think that you can be an expert in all areas. So I think having these partnerships where everybody has different areas of expertise is fantastic.
And that's just like such a more meaningful way of collaboration instead of a duplication of services. It's like, okay, you're going to focus on this, you're going to focus on this, you're going to focus on this. Let's all work together towards the same mission of that autism awareness and autism acceptance in the community.
Yeah, and everybody can be well looked after wherever they go,
Exactly. Can I ask you a personal question about your learning? What was the most significant learning that you have had from the time that you started with Orbital?
I would say sort of similar to how we were talking about the what inclusion means as an employer. I think really sticking to your core values and being resilient can be important for me in my learning, because we're always talking to so many different people who are doing so many different things, and sometimes employers or candidates or anyone will be like, okay, well, I want you to do this, but not exactly like that, and I want it a bit different, or things like that, and that can be really tough on us as service providers. And so I think my biggest learning has been to stand up for myself and the business and stick to our core values, because it's hard to operate like that.
It's very empowering, the power of saying no, of saying like, I really want to be able to help. And a lot of people that are in that position of help, we're like, yes, let me make it work. Let me make it work.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can't do that. And this is why is better.
Yeah. And then that's where the the power of these partnerships comes in. So I think, because sometimes you can tire yourself out by trying to help everybody and please everybody.
So this is the second year that AutismBC has partnered with Orbital Learning to supply the program at a discounted rate. What has been the biggest either like challenge, opportunity, or growth or change from last year to this year?
That's a good question. I think it has helped us, or me, I think it has helped us feel more confident in what we're offering. And yeah, I'm not sure about that actually. What has been the biggest change? Well, of course, now things are remote, so that's a huge change. And yeah, I think a sense of, I think in 1 year, because we're still a young company, we're still starting up, we're still really getting our feet on the ground and getting people understanding what we're doing. So I think in 1 year, with the partnership with AutismBC, it has helped us really expand our network. And I think it's helped us, given us more of a sense of confidence and capability in what we're doing.
Excellent. Is there anything else that you would like to add, that you would like to share with our members, with our viewers?
Yeah, so I guess and if anybody has any additional questions, I'm always open to chatting, and we will be running another cohort in the fall. There's one going on right now. And one other exciting thing is that we're actually also hiring, not for our typical roles of people on the spectrum going into jobs, but we're hiring someone to be on our team to help with job coaching, which is a really exciting step for us, because that means we've got lots to do and there's growth happening. And so we are hiring a job coach that would be supporting me, and so that's really exciting. So anyone that's interested in that can reach out, and it's posted on Charity Village.
Okay, that's great. I'll find that link and I'll link that into the video. It's always exciting when small teams are growing, because that means there's more and more work that's always to be done, and you always get refreshed when you get new people into an organization. So Heather, I really want to thank you for your time today. I want to thank Orbital Learning for sponsoring the Inclusive Employer of the Year this year for the 2020 BC Autism Awards. And if anyone has any nominations, please link in AutismBC/awards, and you can nominate an everyday hero in your community. And thank you for the continued support and partnership in changing the narrative on autistic employment and inclusion for the community.
Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate our partnership with you too, and we're looking forward to continuing this.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks so much
everyone.
for having me.